Have 2 books right now that are out. They're on Amazon. I'd really like to have a publisher or a not-for-profit that can benefit from the things that I'm writing. And so, it would be great to get insights and ideas for that. Um, so the 2 books I have out currently, one's a children's book. It's a little girl who raises a caterpillar, and it watches it become a butterfly. It is correlated with next generation science standards called Flora's Caterpillar, and it's a really sweet story. And it's a little girl that is an individual of color, because so many books tend to be like the same white blonde kid. I hate to say it, but like, honestly, you need to see other people. And the second story that we're in the process of getting illustrated right now is the journey in which she goes to Mexico to visit her grandparents and actually see where the butterflies migrate, and visit the Oyamel forest. It's based on research of the UNESCO bioreserve site, and actual facts of what it's like to visit that site. So really excited about that. And I have a book for adults out right now, which is a field guide to everyday life, useful ways to reconnect with nature and humanity. Is for people that think they don't really have a connection with nature, that just to show that yes, you do. And so some things to do. It has quotes and sharing from all kinds of people that are well known as well as not so well known in the environmental realm. Richard Louv and Doug Tallamy. And then, I've got a minister, I've got a rabbi, I've got, just different people and different perspectives that I really value, that I think would be good for other people to hear. Currently, what I'm working on, which I haven't worked on lately because of uh, the sustainable landscaping season, which kind of pulled me away from writing, was I have a book which is Common Values in Uncommon Times. And the focus of that is showing that if we look at the Quran, if we look at historic Hebrew writings, from the Torah as well as the Bible, that there's a lot that these texts have in common, and that we can appreciate. We don't have to all be the same to religions to appreciate what different faith walks say about things like care and peace, and just common values that bring us together as people. So that's just got to finish it.
That's
But
awesome, April. I'm gonna ask you another time to see if you can put in your schedule to be on the Women's Interfaith Council.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that might be right up your alley. And anybody else who has a very, definite faith tradition would like to, know more about interfaith. Anyway, that's great. So people will be coming on probably slowly as the day progresses. Usually, we get a handful of people that at the end are on. But for now, what we're going to do is record well, you are recording. Thank you, Sheva. I'm going to introduce Tara, and then, but the lineup is that after we introduce Tara, if somebody has a question, they can certainly ask her. If she's going to put her information in the chat, and then we can give that to the people who are interested and write your book right now. After Tara speaks, she will, and has answered questions, she will leave. But we will get back together at about 11 o'clock. And we will be talking about any of the progress that we have made. And so anyway, let me introduce Tara, who is just awesome for joining us for the second time for Gateway to Dreams. So appreciate it. As you all know, she is a published author and a podcaster and is a radio personality at Mix 99.5 FM. She recently published her 10th book. It's called Until and Then Again. Oh no, wait, Tara, that's wrong. What is the last book that you published?
Well, Until and Then Again was my 4th book. And then I published 6 books in my 12-book series called Earthly Branches. It's a devotional for fasting.
Ah, okay, awesome. Well, you'll have to tell us a little bit more about that, I hope, when you're speaking. So Tara, we just love her. She is an accountability partner and a chaos coordinator to CEOs, community leaders, professionals. Her mission is to get people to realize what their true purpose in life is and to give them tools to go step by step into their destiny so that they may live a life of abundance and fulfillment. So everybody, welcome Tara M. Williams.
Yay!
Yay, Tara.
Good morning. So at first I want to answer April. She did ask a couple questions, and it'll go into who I am and what I do anyway. Well, I guess I'll just tell everything and answer your questions, April, while I'm talking. I have been writing since 2004. That was my senior year of high school. And I've been writing books since then. And so with that, I was able to now, many years later, almost, it's been 15 or 16 years now. And now I have 10 books out. So these books weren't written overnight. These books were written over time. And with my writing process, I understood that I learned about the different writing seasons of my life, because people generally have writer's block. They don't really know, why can't I can pump it out at this time and then I can't get it out at this time. And so what I advise my clients or people I know who are working on books is you can do forced writing. Forced writing is when you have a window every day that you write, or a couple days a week that you write. And that's forced writing, because you're going to sit down and write. Maybe you choose a word to focus on, and you go from that one word into everything else that you're writing. And so they can do forced writing, but understanding the seasons of writing, there are the seasons where you're gathering information. You're simply not writing. You're just gathering information from life, from experience, from research. There's a season where you're resting, which most people tend to call writer's block, but you probably should be resting during that time, because your mind is still processing. Whether you believe it or not, your mind is still processing things from the gathering season, or they're still processing things from when you were forcibly writing. And so you have that. And then there's another season, which I can always forget. So you gather, experience. I don't know if I call it experience, but there's a season where you're literally living your life, not necessarily gathering information, but you are collecting information subconsciously during that time. And you can write during that time as well. And you can cultivate that as well. Sometimes the different seasons intertwine. Sometimes you're resting and you get an idea, then write it down, And so something I advise people on is to keep everything. Whatever you're writing, just keep it. You never know if it's a brand new book you haven't even thought of yet. You don't know if it's a part of a book you've already started. Whatever it is you're writing, to keep that. So on my journey, I started out, I don't know if I necessarily wanted to be an author when I grew up, but I was writing in high school. So when I started writing my first book, that was 2004. That book was not published until, my first book was not published until 2011. And with the publishing process, this is one of the answers to April's questions, a directive, I guess, is that you can do a book proposal outline. And I suggest that for anyone writing a book, to do a book proposal outline. With the book proposal outline, you're including your book description, your book summary about the author, your marketing analysis. You're including chapter descriptions from the book, the cover of the book, the content. You're also including 2 chapters of the book that you're working on. And with that, you can submit that. If you have an agent, you can submit that to your agent, your literary agent, and your literary agent will submit it to publishing companies. If you do not have a literary agent, you should research companies that accept unsolicited works. And some major companies like Penguin, which is, I believe that's under Random House, some companies have certain times, even HarperCollins has certain times where they accept unsolicited works, or they have different categories, especially the children's books. I think they have those categories for children where you can submit unsolicited works. No, I don't have an agent. I published all of my books now through Amazon, but my first book, I submitted my book proposal to major companies, commercial companies, and those companies wanted my book. The only reason I could not go with those companies because at the time I didn't have the $2,000 to pay for the packaging. And that's actually a low price to have your book published, marketed, on the shelves for distribution, and all of that, like formatted and everything. $2,000 is that's a very well price. Okay, and so $2,000 to $3,000, but closer to $2,000. Those companies will send you, if you send out your proposal to those companies, to major companies, they'll send you back a letter, either saying that they don't accept unsolicited works or they want your work. Like Dorrance Publishing is one that I submitted to before, and they wanted the work. I really wanted to work with them. They're a well-known company, but I did not have the money to go forward with that. The companies I did go with, I went with 2 different companies at 2 different times. Both of those companies were fraud companies. They now operate, one of them operates under a different name to this day. It's still in operation. And the other one, they shut down for fraud. The CEO and his son were doing some random stuff. So that's why I self-published. So even though I was published in 2011, I republished the book because it was pulled off the shelf in 2013. I republished in 2019. And so that's just a part of that process. You get your book proposal together, which helps you write the book as well as solicit your book. And the book proposal outline also keeps you on track to whenever you pick up a book or put it down. I'm able to have published 10 books in the last year. I started publishing in August of last year. So I've been able to publish 10 books because I use my process of the book proposal outline. And that way I'm able to pick my books up, put them down, pick them up, put them down, like it never stopped. And so that's that with the book writing. And then publishing the books and everything. For me, because I'm an accountability partner and I do offer book writing assistance, because I do that, I promote my own books. My books are all published through Amazon. I'm fine with that because Amazon allows you to see your royalties, set your pricing, and all that. And then you can, send people to your website and you have more control, more input in what's going on and more output. But Amazon also offers marketing packages and things like that as well, that you can use. And many people do use them. I have not yet used their marketing tools. So that's the book writing. In terms of the radio, I know April asked a question about me being on the radio. So for the radio, I was just being myself. So as a chaos coordinator and accountability partner, I have an event in the community called Tea Time with Tara. And Tea Time with Tara has been going on for 4 years now. And with that, we do, my thing is you have a voice and it needs to be heard. And my company, Stalk Your Destiny, we have what's called the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And I also have a book called ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, because everything that I teach, everything that I coach on, everything that I speak about is around the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And that includes things like accountability, balance, taking a chance, management, networking, trust, understanding, things like that, knowledge, learning. Those are some of the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And so with Tea Time with Tara, the community event, I discussed those topics in terms of, like, my book Permeate is based on the first year of Tea Time with Tara. It's literally my teachings from my notebook for Tea Time with Tara. And so we talked about investing in yourself, investing in trust, investing in balance, and things like that. And so from that, I went on to Job Corps to teach there voluntarily. I did leadership. Tea Time with Tara became a leadership program. And so behind the scenes, I have already been on the radio. Behind the scenes, I went to a strategy meeting at a co-working space. In that strategy meeting, I did not know anyone there. And someone heard me speak. I answered one of their questions, and someone heard me speak, and he said, "Hey, I need you to help me with something." And I became his accountability partner. With that, though, his career was being a radio personality. So from that point, I got to produce his show, and I got to be a co-host on his show. From there, he got on to the morning show that I'm on now. And when he was on that show, I was a producer in the background, helping him on that show. Then I got asked to be on a internet radio show as a co-host, and I did Moment of Truth with Tea Time as a co-host there. When that ended, this year I spoke at a Phenomenal I Am Women's Conference. And it was my first time speaking at a conference. And from there, one of the radio personalities from the same station, she said I won an interview. I won a 10-minute interview on the radio. And I said, "Oh, okay." And I didn't remember how. I think I was a vendor or something, and I won from that. And I said, "Oh, okay." And so when I went to do the live interview, a DJ was there, and the DJ remembered me from producing that very show in the morning that I'm on now. And so he said, "Hey, do you want to get on this morning show with me? Things have changed now, and there's an opportunity." And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "You can do Tea Time with Tara," because he knew all about Tea Time with Tara. He knew about my production work. He knew about my voice. And so from there, I was able to get on the radio. I just left the radio this morning from doing Tea Time with Tara as well. And so that's how the opportunities come about, just continuing to do great work, continuing to speak to people, taking opportunities to help others, honestly, is really what it is. I couldn't make up the opportunities that I've gotten if I tried. And I'm looking forward to more. I'm looking forward to more opportunities. I have more books coming. Next year, I have to put out the other 6 devotionals. So at least 6 more books are coming. And I have 2 fiction novels that people are waiting on. And so those 2 fiction novels have to come next year as well. The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny is 1 book in a 4-book series. So more of those books are coming also. And so it takes a lot of balance. It takes a lot of structure. And so just being able to be clear in mind, body, and soul, and being focused on the end goal. Like, my books are not necessarily for me to say, "Hey, I'm an author, pick up my book." My books are to say, do you want to change your life? Just like my business, it's all about identity, direction, and accountability. My planners are tools for you to get there. My books are tools for you to get there. And my voice is the tool I use for people to be helped in getting where they need to go. So I think that's it. I think
Tara, that's exceptional. I mean, I'm so glad this is recorded, because I want to hear it again, because there's so much good information and practical information, which is so helpful to us. There's so many things I want to ask about, but oh, so your devotionals, those are on, is that a series? Is it under a specific series?
Yes.
Okay, which is what?
The devotionals are titled Earthly Branches.
I see. Okay.
And it's a 12-book series, and 6 of the 12 books are out now.
Okay. Are you part of Audacious Faith Community?
No, I'm familiar with Lethea.
Okay.
I went to the Boulder conference last year.
That's how I know you. Yes. I loved that Boulder conference. Okay. I hope you join us. I hope you do, because your books, that's part of your tribe right there, are those people that are interested in what you have to say. April, did you have another question? I don't know. I think she
put something.
What was that?
Do you have any further questions?
No, you know what, I thought, well, and you were talking about her series now, and are you marketing this as a series then, or no? Your inspirational
The devotionals?
writings. Yeah.
Yes, the devotionals are, it's a series. It's published as a series. However, the books can be purchased individually.
Okay.
They're all published individually. I just published all 6 in one day. People do not have to buy the series. I'll actually be doing a collective of 3 months, 4 different books with 3 months of devotionals in them. And so people that want the collective can buy the 3-month books, not the individual monthly books. They're interactive. So this is why they're individual books. It's not just a reading devotional. It's actually interactive. Most of the things I do are interactive, thought-provoking, to affect positive change.
Oh, you sound like me. Well, because it's like, you can write it, and yeah, that's nice, but how are you applying it? So
Absolutely.
awesome. Very nice.
April, you had a good question, which is, are there agents out there that would actually pay you a certain amount? It's saying they like what you have to offer, and they'll say, and I'll give you $1,000 to complete things or something. Is there?
Well, no, I was going to say, I know my biggest issue is the illustrations, that I've got things that are stockpiled that I can't get out because, they're just words, they're not finished, in my opinion, and so, I'm wondering how you manage to make it through that obstacle.
I don't know what you mean. I don't have any illustrations.
Right. Yours is more, here's straight up, here's how it is, because that's your type of writing. But, I think that's one thing I deal with is, people go, oh, I've got, a friend that illustrates, and a relative that illustrates. And, with a children's book, that I wrote, I was really fortunate to have someone that, was like, hey, I want to illustrate. Now, the second children's book we're working on has been really slow because, at the end of the day, she needs to make some money. And right now it's like, marketing wise, Amazon does so much, and we're looking at other routes and ways to get the book out. But it's hard, for children's books.
A lot of my artist friends advertise their graphics and illustrations on Fiverr. So you've heard of Fiverr?
No. How do you spell it?
Fiverr. And it's like just any job in the world or task that you would like to hire someone for, a gig of any sort, you can find on Fiverr, or Thumbtack is the other one, Thumbtack. is more local.
Okay.
So if you want
Thumbtack is more local, so
Mhm.
you could actually meet the person
to,
if you want to. But you have to pay people usually up front. You can't like wait. You can't wait like 2 years to pay.
Right.
You have to pay them pretty quickly.
But with Fiverr, they're generally cheaper. So those are people seeking work and you know, giving you bargain deals basically with it. They want to help. So that's a good one. And for Jenny, I know you asked about paying the agent. You don't pay the agent. No agent can actually tell you, if you give me this amount of money, I can do this for you. I mean, I'm sorry,
that's not.
they don't pay you. So they won't pay us to get our work done. We have to pay them to stand in, to be the middleman for us as authors. We pay the agent to be the middleman for that. And April, in terms of marketing, a part of something that people who are book writers don't do, and I guess are not really familiar with, and I'll just share a little bit here because it's something I'm launching next year. We're supposed to launch this year, is a direct sales company. One moment, my phone's trying to die on us. Hold on. Okay. So it's a direct sales company. And so most authors don't do direct sales. And if we did do direct sales, we could sell more. In doing the direct sales as a self-published author going through Amazon, you need to have a strategy in place for what is your goal for sales, what's the time frame you want to have that goal in place, what is your strategy for going forward with that, and then what connections are you hoping to gain from that. If you want, I think I heard you mention having other companies or corporations, nonprofits, picking up that work. Well, then what's your strategy to actually get those companies to see your work? Are you sending out the books? An old school tradition with being a book writer is that you publish your book, you purchase about 100 copies of your book, or 20 at least 20 books, and you send those books to companies you want to see your book, or people you want to see your stuff, your individuals. Like people would send to Oprah, they send to Oprah's book club. They just send their stuff. You send your work out. And so once you have your product published and you send your work out, then it's up to those companies to reach back out, and it's up to you to follow up with them to find out how you can collectively work. That is how you would get your books picked up in that way. And again, having the proposal is how you get the money. People can make offers. So if you do the proposal and you send it out unsolicited or with an agent, you won't just get things back that say, okay, if you pay us $2,000 for this package, we'll do X, Y, and Z. You can also get offers. You would get offers from the publishing company versus them saying, hey, pay us this. They would say, hey, we want this book. Here's a check, for this amount. And so you have that option as well. But again, you have to have a strategy with that. And you have to be ready to follow up on that strategy in order to have that movement go forward. So right now, if you're looking just for a cartoonist or an illustrator, then yes, I would take Sheva. I hope I said her name right, Sheva. You would take Sheva's advice, and go on Fiverr or Thumbtack. I think that's it. and take care of that. But in the background, you want to have a plan of action. And for major bookstores, for distribution, they go through a company called Ingram. Ingram is the biggest distribution company for book writers, for authors, all that. And so if you can locally show that you're selling books, I would say the goal is about 500 books. Once you've sold 500 books locally, you can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can go to other places that get their distribution from Ingram. And you can say, hey, I'm not with a publishing company, but locally, here are my numbers. Here's what I sold. Can you request that Ingram pick my book up? And then they would have your book on the shelves, because once Ingram picks your book up, you can go back to that place and say, hey, Ingram picked my book up. Can you guys put my book on the shelf? And they're always looking for new stuff to be on the shelves. It's just most authors don't know the background part of distribution.
Tara, these are wonderful, wonderful tips. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom. I have a question on your structure, like because you are doing multiple things and multiple genres. Um, how do you like come up with a like plan of action to structure your time, or like do you ever get overwhelmed with all the different, oh, I've got this project and that, how do I keep it all streamlined?
Yes, actually, well, see, that's the reason I'm a chaos coordinator. So time management is something that I get paid to do, and accountability is something I get paid to do. And so what happens is I have what's called a roadmap to success. My roadmap to success is something I do with myself and my clients. That's a 10-year, 5-year, 3-year plan. From the roadmap to success, I have what's called, I do my 1-year goals, and then I have what's called a yearly, quarterly breakdown. So the 1-year goals are broken down into what am I going to focus on for this quarter? What am I going to focus on for this quarter? Then that's broken down into my planner system, which is the month. I would use the monthly planner, or any of my planners. Most of them have what's called changes, expectations, goals, and a message for the month. So for my yearly, quarterly breakdown, if I take one quarter, I'm looking at that and I'm going, which of these things am I working on this month? And I can pull out a couple different things to work on for that month, put it down on paper, and then from the monthly goal list, I break that down to weekly. What tasks need to be done weekly in order for me to get this done this month? And I do that. What happens with me is I'm a workaholic, and I didn't want to accept that or acknowledge that, but I love to work. Because I love what I do, I'm always doing it. And so with that, like now, I published those books, and then I was like, okay, I got to publish this many more before the end of the year. And when it comes to spiritual terms, I felt like God had directed me to sit down, rest, stop working. The work will still be there. It'll be there just like that, 2021. And so I've stopped working since the beginning of November. When I published those books, I stopped working on my own stuff. I still go to the radio station, but I'm not actually when I'm at home, I'm not working. And so having to balance rest in there. Rest is not on my goal list. It doesn't say rest, Tara, on there. So I'm learning the hard way that I have to rest. But because I'm so adamant about my plan, when it's time for me to rest, it's okay. Because I've already produced so much, I'm already ahead of myself that I can rest. It's okay for me to rest. And when it's time to get back up and start working again, my task list is still there. And I know that it's okay for me to be flexible in my goals, because just because I have, like, I tell people this, for December, I have 24 things, 24 items on my goal list for December. And some people are like, wow, that's a whole lot. And I'm like, no, it's not. My weekly task list has 24 things on it. So to take 1 week's task and make it the entire month, I'm giving myself a break.
Mm-hmm.
And what I used to be able to do prior to the coronavirus and economic hardships, I used to, even during hard times. Let me say that even during hard times, I used to take 3 months off a year. 3 random months out of the year, I would just take off and rest. I have not done that this year. I've shied away from my clients for a little while, and then I picked right back up. And so now I'm getting the last 2 months that I didn't take off. And I'm okay with that because I used my system and I used my plan and I produced the work. So it's okay now. And I'll still be ahead. I still have 10 books published in the last 15 months. So it's all good.
It is. It is. That's beautiful. Thank you. It's really fun to hear how you do what you do. How
Thank you.
So, Jenny, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. I've learned so much from you, Tara. And again, I'm so glad that's recorded because this is something I think we can listen to over and over again and keep learning just from this presentation. This was extraordinary and so appreciated.
And it is time. I think, Tara, a lot
Thank
of
you, Tara, so much.
Yeah.
And so if anybody does listen to this and have questions, how would you like them to contact you? Through your email, through your Facebook? What is the best way?
The best way to contact me is probably, honestly, it's probably by phone. Because if you email me, that's okay too, but it won't be a right away response. So
Okay.
by email, do you want me to put it in the chat or do you want me to just go ahead and say it on
let's
here anyway?
say it because we probably won't have the chat at the recording. You know,
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just tell us.
Okay. So I can be reached at what my website is www.stalkyourdestiny.com, and that's STALK yourdestiny.com. My email address is the same, stalkyourdestiny@gmail.com. On social media, anywhere, honestly, if you Google Stalk Your Destiny, or if you Google Tara with an H, Tara like Sarah with a T, Tara M. Williams, if you Google that, everything should come up. However, everything is also on my website. All of my social media is on my website. If you Google or look up Tea Time with Tara, Stalk Your Destiny, or Tara M. Williams, it's all there.
Oh, fantastic.
And
Again,
phone, I'm sorry, I forgot to give the phone number.
oh yeah,
By
phone number.
it's 225-405-1086. That's
Okay.
225-405-1086.
Okay, that's great. So your area code is from where?
The area code is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm from St. Louis. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, but my happy place is Louisiana. That's where I went to college, and that is where I believe I became an adult.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We just so appreciate you. Anything else you want to say, Sheva?
I'm just so grateful to have you here. I think that the Gateway to Dreams community would love to interact with you more, and just stay in touch with us. Keep coming. We really enjoy having you. Bring
Yeah.
Thank you.
your tribe.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate it.
Oh, we love it. So go to your other clients, and we will hopefully be in, interact and talk and bring you back another time.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking